Fran Sisco, and I'm here with Lorna Thompson. I've been blessed that she's taking care of my mom on weekends and at night. And we've recently been introduced, right?
Yes, recently.
So, and already I feel very, very comfortable, and my mother feels comfortable with you.
Thankful for that.
So we're going to have a conversation about what's important about in being a caregiver. What is, some of the important characteristics, and also your specific ideas about caregiving. Okay?
Okay.
And I just want to say it's a very rainy night tonight.
Very rainy.
In June. And my hair is usually not this frizzy, so...
It's the weather.
Okay, it's the weather. We blame it on the weather. Okay, good. All right, so we're going to move into the other room and we'll talk. Okay? So we're going to take this video and we're going to put it up on the internet and hopefully help people in their selection of a caregiver.
Sure.
Okay, great. Hi, Lorna. How are you today?
Pretty good.
Good. So we're here on a Friday night. You're going to be working, taking care of my mom, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and Monday night, 4 nights in a row. And I feel blessed that you're going to be doing that.
Thank you.
And so quickly, she got acclimated to you and me to you. What is that? Why? How does that happen? That you have a knack or a presence?
This is something I think is inborn. I'm the eldest of 6 girls. And I'm a mother of 5. And in my family, I have a few of my sisters who are nurses and a daughter who is also a nurse. And I've been in nursing field since 1980. I've worked at Columbia Presbyterian in Manhattan, also Manhattanville Nursing Care Center in the Bronx, Riverdale.
You were working like 2 full-time jobs, one right after the other?
Yes, I used to work 3 to 11 in Columbia Presbyterian and in Manhattanville at 12 to 8.
Now, to do that, you really must love what you're doing, right?
Yes, I do love nursing. I've grown in a household where it's like family oriented, of taking care of your elders, and as a child it is something I've always gravitated towards. And taking care of the elderly is something that I feel a great reward when I see I see them perky, happy. I talk with them, I make sure they're okay, good conversations, and keep their mind together. And I really enjoy my work.
That's great. Is part of it, do you think, because of a relationship you had with a grandmother or grandfather?
Oh, exactly so.
And
I was raised by my grandmother, to be exact, and she passed when I was 9 years old. So I have this upbringing from a child of, gravitating towards the elderly, taking care of them.
We were talking about the importance of family and how family and the love of family may have influenced you in going into nursing.
Exactly.
And staying in nursing, right? What would you recommend to, say, a young person of today who is going into nursing about what are some of the important characteristics, or say in care, long-term caregiving, as a home health aide or as a CNA, or what would you recommend to a young woman of today that are some of the key characteristics that she needs to have or he needs to have?
Yes, calm, to be attentive, kind, listen, give a listening ear, be very attentive.
That's very important. It's a perfect word, attentive.
Yes.
Because if you're not attentive to what a person's needs are,
exactly.
How could you possibly be serving them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to really want
to do something. In the field of nursing, to me, I don't just go doing this job because monetary. I go to do this job because it's something I love, caring for the person.
Right.
Not because of the pay. If you're just going to go and do a job just because you're not going to do a good job.
Right.
You're not going to do a good job. You got to do a job because you love your job.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, I hear some young people today, nothing against them, but I hear some of them say, oh, I'm going into the nursing field because
of the money.
Yeah, the money, and there's a big need in that field, and as if it was I don't know, it's not as personal or as loving or caring as I want to hear from them, the reason they want to do it is because they love taking care of people.
To be honest, that's not nursing. That's just for the money.
Yeah, right.
That's not nursing.
Right.
You have to go, nursing is caring. Empathy, you got to put yourself in somebody else's position.
Right.
Suppose this was me. Well, how would I like somebody to treat me?
Yeah, so that's another very important adjective or attribute you just said. Empathy.
Yes.
So being attentive, being kind. I love the word you used is kind. It's a very loving, warm.
Exactly.
Kind. That's to have, for myself, to have my mother cared for people who are like you it's an amazing feeling, because I feel that I can't even give as much in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I love her and I think I'm kind to her and stuff, but somehow my upbringing or the way in which I've lived makes me not as patient, not as attentive, not as kind. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then I feel very guilty about that. So it's wonderful to have someone support, the support of and I would recommend that anyone watching this video who is considering having in-home care for their elderly parents, or for themselves, or some help for themselves, look into that rather than going into a facility.
Exactly.
If you could stay at home.
Stay at home in your own surroundings.
Right.
When you go in a facility, I'm not saying anything about a facility, but it's like not a home setting. A home setting is like one-on-one.
Right.
In a facility is a group.
Some people say that one of the advantages of a facility is that there's more social interaction, which I can understand.
Yes.
But you can get that kind of thing in a home environment too, because the caregiver could take you out.
Oh, exactly.
Could take you out.
Take you out and go to a senior citizen center.
Right.
Still socialize, and then you come back to your own surroundings.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So, describe some of the other attributes that you think are important for a caregiver.
Well, let me see now.
Like
Patience,
right?
That's a good. You have to be very patient, because sometimes you have patients that they really wear you down, but you cannot react to that, because remember, the person is elderly.
Right.
They're not functioning like a young person anymore. They are, like they would say, once a man, twice a child. They're now a child again. So you gotta have to take patience.
Right.
Go very slowly and kindly to that person, because it's like they're learning again, like they're a newborn, a baby.
Yes.
So there's a certain amount of care you have to give. As a young child, you have to be very kind and gentle. It's just like an elderly person.
And what about in those cases where a person has dementia and they may be hallucinating, or maybe sometimes even angry or impatient with you, the caregiver? Then it's very important to be patient,
you
right?
have to be patient, because this person is not really normal like yourself.
Right.
So you got to think this person is not thinking like I am thinking.
Right. You know what I'm also struck by over the years, because I've experienced a lot of caregivers for my grandmother, my father, my aunt, my mother, a lot of people in my family, a number of my clients. what I have found is that many caregivers, if not most, are also very smart. You know? And they're really smart. To be able to do all the things that you do with the keeping track of the medications and what to do, when to do it, all of the tests and all of that experience that you have to have in your head, that you have to call on, knowing whether it's an emergency situation or whether it's an event that's going to pass. It's really an unbelievable thing, you know?
Well, like for that now, just like being a mom. A mom that stays at home, she's not just mom. She's a teacher, she's a doctor, she's a nurse, she's everything in one. So just
Right.
like a caregiver, you're multitasking.
Now, you yourself have 4 children?
Five kids.
Children. 5 kids, right?
Yes.
So now that has
5
impacted
kids, 10 grandkids.
10 grand, and that has, I'm sure, helped you
Exactly.
in being well-rounded
Exactly.
and caregiving and patient and all of the rest,
Sure.
right? Yeah, so that's wonderful, and I think a lot can be said about caregivers who are seasoned, you know, a little bit older.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
no, they would say know the ropes.
Yeah, know the ropes, right. Well, Lorna, this has been fabulous talking with you, and I
Same,
really
thank you.
appreciate it. I look forward to many hours together.
Okay, Fran,
All right, and
thank you.
thank you again for that wonderful care of my mom.
Thanks.